morning. Good morning, my name is David Lambert. I'm Managing Director of Cultural Solutions UK. And today I'm going to do attempt to do three things. One, give you a little bit of information about Cultural Solutions as a small and medium enterprise. Secondly, talk about Festival 800 and how it fits into the the cultural infrastructure of the city and the county and the region and the country. And then talk about your involvement or your potential involvement in Festival 800 and other sort of cultural activities that go on in the city and the county. Thanks for coming out, I do appreciate it. If only this was the end of the day. You know, but Cultural Solutions UK has been trading since 2007. As I say, we're a part of the creative and cultural industries. Prior to that, I was working at the Lincolnshire County Council as an arts development officer, their strategic arts development officer, etc. And at that local authority, I was very keen, I was very committed to ensuring that we made those links between arts and culture and other people's aims and objectives or agendas. You know, how can arts help the foster and adoption agencies within the county? How can arts and culture help with economic regeneration, social cohesion, the youth offending team? And it was about arts and something else, because we felt at the time, this was a long time ago, that there weren't those sort of links between arts and other agendas. And I think, and I've carried that through since when we set up Cultural Solutions in 2007. We've always sort of driven and had that sort of philosophy that, you know, I'm an old hippie, so I do believe in art for art's sake. I think there's an opportunity and a role for people just to play and dance and sing for the sake of it. But also appreciate that art and culture can deliver on other people's agendas. You know, and so whether that's you're a small business or whether you're a large organisation like Siemens or the co-op, all can work through the arts to deliver, and ultimately as businesses, because and that's what we're after. We're after to make a profit. And so I've always worked in partnership. I've always had clients. In regards to who we have as clients, a real wide cross-section of clients. We have local authorities, we have the health service, we work a lot with sort of mental health and well-being, we work with a lot of social cohesion groups and agendas, so we work with Gypsies and Travellers, Eastern Europeans, armed forces, and it's all about bringing those stories and those businesses to a wider audience through art and culture. That's what we do, and it can be done. I mean, we worked with the RAF and the Armed Forces Covenant Grant Scheme last year on something called Amazing Aviation, which was a project around sort of highlighting the social and the economic and the spiritual contribution the Armed Forces make to the country. And we did that through a tour of 40 schools, a big sort of horrible histories sort of performance, as well as the education pack. And it's about saying, oh gosh, how can we bring what some might perceive as a dry as old breadsticks story to life and relevant to that particular client group, let's say. So that's what we do, and we've always done that. Fast forward. I'm talking about dry as old breadsticks. I was having a conversation with our son Morgan last year. We talked about Magna Carta, and obviously, this is one of Lincoln's moments with Magna Carta. And Morgan, bright young thing that he is, sort of said, "Look, Dad, I really know how important Magna Carta is. It's the so-called cornerstone of modern democracy, etc. I know we've got one of only four editions, the 1215 up the castle. It's a bit boring." It's a bit, in lots of ways, it's dry as old breadsticks. How are you going to make it relevant to me and me mates? And that was the challenge, really. And so what Festival 800 is, or attempts to be, is an artistic and cultural response to Magna Carta. And we've taken lots of little liberties, as I think people over the centuries have. You've got Magna Carta, and it wasn't for the people. It's all well documented, so we needn't do that. But what we like is that over the years, the centuries, people have adopted and adapted Magna Carta for their own agendas. So the Disability Discrimination Act, whether the 1967 sort of sex act. One day it was illegal to be homosexual, the next day it wasn't. The law, what an ass it is. And so over the years, people have adopted and adapted Magna Carta for their own agendas. So we wanted to look at that and then look at sort of freedom of expression and freedom of speech. You know, so we stretched it a bit. And so ultimately what we're having from the 28th of August to the 6th of September is a bit of a party in Lincoln. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, that's what Morgan wants, that's what his mates want. But at the same time, we don't want to dumb it down, we want to be respectful, and we just made an 8-minute, took all day yesterday, we've made a short film which hopefully will give you an idea of some of the people who are going to be part of this festival. And I'd just like to play that, if I may. Sorry for the guys in the sight lines there.
My name is Paul Hoggart, I'm from England. My wife is Remy, and she's from the Netherlands, and we're a sand sculpting team. We live in Bulgaria. We met in Belgium, and this is the sand show. I was in India in 1991, and it was the first time I'd ever really truly experienced paradise. So I did what all children do when you go to paradise. I sat on the beach, and I started creating, I started playing. I've been completely addicted ever since.
We're joined now by the historian David Starkey. He's been looking at the origins of Magna Carta in a documentary for the BBC. Welcome to the Daily Politics. Why so much interest in the Magna Carta?
Well, it's the anniversary. It's the 800th anniversary on the 15th of June, 1215 at Runnymede. Magna Carta was not signed. Your wretched thing. It was probably
That's right.
sealed.
And we saw there
You saw the Great Seal of England being
No.
So, my name's Carla. I'm from the Hip Hop Shakespeare Company.
Yes, I grew up an adult in a single parent family. Been through a little bit of tragedy. This was around drugs and violence before the day that I started secondary. That's part of it.
I'm going to simply tell you some quotes, and you're going to tell me by show of hands whether you think it's hip hop or Shakespeare. Does that make sense?
Happy Days is one of the most popular vloggers in the UK.
Should we have a little look at what he does and then we'll talk to you about it?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Today I'm here with Ariana Grande. How are you doing?
Oh, very well.
Yeah.
I actually can't believe this.
And just give people a sense at home, how many people watch those videos? And you can be more
last month was like 37 million.
James Rhodes is a tormented soul. It comes out in his music. It goes back to childhood. Today he won the right to tell the world that he was raped at school. His court battle was not with his abuser, but with his ex-wife, who didn't want their son to know. The Supreme Court said the story could be told.
Eva Clarke was born into a world that did not want her to exist. Under the Third Reich, all Jewish babies were to be killed.
They had to sign a paper that the babies will be taken away. That's the first time I heard the word euthanasia.
By the time of Eva's birth, her mother, Anka, weighed just 5 stone and was on the brink of starvation.
I was getting thinner and thinner, but my stomach was getting bigger and bigger.
Eva was born at Mauthausen, a Nazi death camp where hundreds of thousands lost their lives. But remarkably, both Eva and Anka survived.
He said those goddamn Pakistanis and their goddamn corner shops built a shop on every corner, took our British workers' jobs. He said those goddamn Chinese and their goddamn China shops. I told him they're from Vietnam, but he doesn't give a toss. I asked him what was there before the damn Japan man shop. He looks at me and dreams a scene of British workers' jobs. A full-time, full employment before the goddamn boats all came, where everybody went to work for full-time, full weeks every day. A British business stood there first, he claims, before the Irish came. Now British people lost their jobs and bloody Turkish they're to blame. I asked him how he knows that fact. He said, because it's true. I asked him how he knows that fact. He said he read it in the news.
Hello! So I'm Shafi and I am a female Iranian stand-up comedian. The other comics backstage, they call me the box ticker. Because you grow into your name, whatever name you're given, your personality fits into it. Like, have you ever met a Karen who isn't really outgoing and a bit crazy? Or a Fiona who isn't a complete bitch?
Today we gather to dedicate a national statue of the late Rosa Louise Parks in recognition of her many contributions to this nation and to the cause of freedom. It's the first statue of an African American woman to be placed in this capital.
The weight of the world has been set down on this, a flimsy skin too easily thrown away, its promises faded to brown, stretched thin. What was this thing when it began, but grease on a palm?
I choose my 50 plumes, each quill a flight feather from the wing of a swan. Take pen, knife to shave it sharp as the steel my father hones to cut the sod on the hill.
Nice meadow, Runnymede, where an English oak made a mirror of shade next to the Thames, where a knight could kick off his boots to paddle in clover.
Some of what's happening over those 10 days from the 28th, not the 6th, from the 28th of August. The chap in the beginning, Paul Hoggard, he's from Goul originally, lives in Bulgaria now. He's one of the top sand sculptors in the world. Lives in Bulgaria. He's coming with his wife. They're coming on Friday morning, and they're living in Lincoln for a fortnight, and they are creating at the castle in front of the vault, Magna Carta vault, a 4 metre by 9 metre sand sculpture depicting the sealing of Magna Carta on one side, and then on the other side Rosa Parks, who you saw, so President Obama there, Rosa Parks and Anne Frank on the back. 4 metres, 9 metres. It's going to be massive, actually. So it takes them a fortnight to build. 80 tons of sand are being delivered on Friday and Saturday. Woodhall Soft, it's called. Woodhall Soft. It's one of the best sands you can get, and it's from Lincolnshire. Did you know that? I didn't. And then through that, what you see there is an eclectic mix of, you know, of MOVO award-winning hip-hop artist Akala, who's been commissioned to perform, to create a whole new spoken word opera. We've got Holly McNeish doing spoken word. We're bringing over Rosa Parks' family from Detroit. Rosa Parks, you know, little sort of African-American woman in 1955, sat down on that bus, paid a ticket, and someone said, get out of that seat, you know, that man over there, that white man over there needs a seat. Paid me ticket, I'm not standing up, she said. And kicked off, unbeknownst to her at that time, that whole sort of US civil rights movement, really. And you know, there was some of the information there, you know, with the sort of the statue in the White House, etc. So Rosa Parks, Eva Clarke, and the Anne Frank Trust are coming along. So there's this real sort of mix. The Levellers, Billy Bragg, which we've not mentioned, because Billy Bragg's already sold out. The Levellers have almost sold out. Penguin Cafe's already sold out. There was a chap there called Ramia Sam. Now I have to mention Ramia Sam. Ramia Sam was standing in front of 30,000 people on a pedestal with his guitar in Tahrir Square in 2011 as part of the Arab Spring. He stood up there and he sang, Mubarak has to go, the regime, we've had enough. It has to go, it has to go. You know, what you don't see in that YouTube is him the next morning beaten and broken. But then people whisked him out of Egypt and he's living in Copenhagen now. We've tracked him down. He's called the Bard of the Revolution and he's coming to perform at the LPAC on the 5th of September. Lavon Volsky, not a name, not a household name. Lavon lives in Belarus. He can't perform or in his own country. That was him performing to 10,000 people in Vilnius, across the border in Lithuania, to 10,000 people with his band, because he can't perform or have his music broadcast in his own country. Lavon's coming over to perform. Furman Mugarasa, again, coming from the Basque country, talking about the fact that the Basques have had, you know, this fight over the generations, etc. So it's a real mix, you know. But what we've also got is a lot of sort of street theatre going throughout this, you know, throughout the city. So we've got a freedom flash mob. So we've got 80 voices, and sometime during the 5th of September, either at the Castle Hills or on the High Street or over at St Mark's, there'll be one voice, and then there'll be 4 voices, then you'll hear 10 voices, and then 20 voices, and all of a sudden you'll hear 80 voices coming together as one cohesive whole. So, you know, don't panic if it's sort of happening in front of you, etc. It's planned. You know, we're event management specialists, we can do this. So that's happening as well. It's also the 25th anniversary of the independence of Lithuania. I've got a lot of Lithuanian friends and colleagues in the county at the moment, and we're bringing a folklore company over, performance group called Statuto. They're coming over, they're going to be performing at the waterside. So it's free of charge, so they're all in full Lithuanian costume. They've got it's a significant year for them, 2015, because it's the 25th anniversary of their independence. So they're coming up to perform as well. And we're tying in with steampunk, and we've got Albert the Robot. Apparently he's the first ever part Victorian robot, so he's coming up. We've got the troll walking through the city. So if you see this 9-foot troll, say hello to him, he's friendly. So what we're trying to do is animate the city as well. So as you know, as our people walking through, our visitors and our residents are walking through the city, you know, we're trying to create a sense of something's going on. You know, and it ties in with all the other various activities that will be going on throughout the city, throughout the year. We can't do this on our own. I talked about partnerships and stakeholders earlier on. So we're working with the collection, we're working with the Lincoln Drill Hall, we're working with LPAC, so Julie's in the back and Craig, manager, is over here, working with LPAC, we're working with the showroom down on Tritton Road. There's an Anne Frank exhibition down at the Tritton, at the showroom down there, working with the castle. We're stronger together, and I think that's part of this networking as well. You know, we are stronger together. I think I'll shut up there really. But what we really would like to do is to, and I know this is what Charlie and Emma want to do as well, is to sort of make those connections between where art and culture can help us all. You know, we've got to, if we have a happier resident, if we have a happier visitor, then I think, you know, they go back and say, hey, there's something going on in Lincoln. You know, because a lot of people do see the city and the county as this cultural backwater, and I think, you know, 2015 is a bit of a year where we can actually sort of dispel some, you know, demystify some of those perceptions, really. You know, so what we'd like to do now, really, and I don't know how you want to do this with Charlie and Emma, is really open this up. I mean, for me, you know, for me, and I don't know whether you're small businesses or, you know, representatives of larger businesses. I mean, for me, really, I want these everywhere. Of course I do. But what we don't want them is, you know, on the floor 2 minutes later. So it's about being clever, and you know your spaces. Where can we place these, or the smart brochure? Where can we place these so that your customers, your staff are aware of this? You know, and I'm just happy to.
Has anybody got any particular questions? Thank you, David. I think that was a really useful oversight of the festival. Has anyone got any specific questions about the event?
David, one of the businesses up at Vale yesterday, I wasn't sure. There aren't any road closures involved, are there?
There are no road closures involved.
It's just that he was
yes.
from the Cycle Grand Prix and all that sort of stuff.
No, it's all right. We actually had an email, a very justified, panicky email from a bride who had moved her wedding away from the weekend when there was the cycle route, and all of a sudden there was an announcement there was Festival 800. So God bless her. She said, "I've done it once," and you know, so yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So no road closures, thank you. You know, yeah. So to give me a bit of an idea where, you know, so without no one in particular. So that corner there, where, you know, who do you represent? What's your business?
Yeah,
great, lovely.
On the edge.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah,
living life on the edge. Yeah, okay.
But you know, for us, our market tends to they come to Whitehall to be the centre of the wheel, and then do data at Lincoln.
Lovely. Okay.
If that coincides with
lovely. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, I recognise you. Yeah. Another time. All right, thank you. How about you, sir?
I'm representing independent businesses from the top of the High Street,
Great.
Square, and
Good.
Goody Sweet Shop.
All right, very good. Okay, nice. All right.
Shall we go?
All right, thank you. Do you think? I mean, there's a $64,000 question. Do you think there's enough stories for you to sort of go back to your friends and colleagues and families? Because it's not just about business. It's about going back to your mates and your families and saying. I mean, I haven't even mentioned the family-friendly stuff in here yet. You know, do you feel this? You have more information to sort of go back and say, well, you know, yesterday morning I was at an early breakfast and look, yeah. Do you feel there's something in this?
I don't know what articles did all this, but actually,
yeah, well, that's good.
That back
yeah.
to all my neighbours and businesses.
Yeah,
we'll be glad to take any advice you've got to spread the word.
Thank you.
Put it all on our Facebooks and Twitter.
Yeah, well, I think that's an important one, really. I mean, in regards to sort of websites and sort of social media, you know, the information on here. There is a Facebook page, of course. There's a Twitter handle. There is a website. I mean, little things like that can really help us a lot, and it's stuff that you can do without really sort of taking on too much. So, I mean, do go to Facebook, like it, share it. That would help a lot. How many people
have updates and things on there?
Sorry?
You'll be posting updates and things on there. So,
all the time, absolutely. And there'll be some competitions. We the people here today, if we get to take their names, we've got a family pass for the castle. Right, and it's a bit of, I don't know, we're working out, it's a bit of lastminute.com, but we've got a family pass, we're going to have a bit of a competition. So that you here today, thank you for making that effort, extra effort. We'll send something through you, so there's an opportunity to win a family pass to the castle for the next 6 months. So, you know, it's a small gesture for, you know, sort of you making that effort, really. Yeah? Good. I can't compete with bacon butties, really. And I would be Charlie.
I'll try. I just wondered, from the point of view
of those of you that are working in smaller businesses or have your own business and from the point of view of hotels as well, when it comes to an event like this and an opportunity like this, what is the best way for you to engage with it? And what's the best way to share the opportunity with your customers and your visitors and your clients? Is it through the brochure, having loads of copies of that? Is it through having something that actually business takes its own, has its own take? I'm thinking about with the cycling festival up in the Vale. There were window displays that people really got into and really got excited about, and it just looked wonderful. And I wonder how we can kind of encourage that sort of approach to opportunities like this Frequency Festival, which is coming up in October. How does that work from your point of view? What's the best way of kind of giving you enough material that you feel that you can do something with that works for your business?
I think the experience from the event we had about the Magna Carta at the New Life Centre was about opening up so people could do little bits themselves independently.
Yeah.
There was lots of people there on that day who were saying, well, who's organising it? Who's going to organise bits for me?
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case. And I think it's a bit of a fudge, but making it as wide as possible.
Yeah.
So some people will look brochures and people got shops and put brochures on the shops, other people it is Facebook and Twitter. It's about making it broad, but making it clear to small businesses particularly that they can go off and run with these a little bit. That's what I've found. Some of the events that we're doing, I'm sort of organising a bit of small events, but alongside it, people are getting involved that way.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be hugely involved. It doesn't have to be organised. Sometimes that turns people off, I think.
I think that's a really good point, and I think it is with a programme that's as diverse as this, and there's got so many different elements to it. If there are things that speak to you more than others, I think it's that freedom, and I'm sure, David, kind of you would support this. It's that freedom to take that and make it your own and make it something that. So if there's an event that particularly works well for your customers, or that works that this kind of coincides with something that you're doing internally or the offer that you have already, then having that kind of that confidence and that creativity to do something with it and to feel like that's a valuable contribution to make, I think is really, really important. And it would be great to see, I mean, when you go to, I think great to see things happening all over the city, kind of little responses to this programme in one way or another.
Can I give you a little example?
Yeah.
The festival weekend that you had for Magna Carta, I organised a street photography workshop. On the Saturday, you remember it was pouring down with rain.
It was.
It was horrendous, but I had, I think, about 13 people. We met in a cafe in the city. These people were photography enthusiasts, but none of them had the confidence. They all came and said, I haven't really got the confidence to go and photograph people on the street. So we talked about the freedom to be able to do that, and that it was a legal thing and you were quite within your rights to do that. And people went out and they loved the morning. They thought it was fantastic. And they came back with some amazing photographs. Despite the fact that it was pouring down with rain, despite the fact that it was soaked. So one of the things I'm looking at is the flash mob.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is have a conversation to see whether we can get an indication of where that will be at a certain time. Because I know people would love to be able to be there, with the street photography, taking the photographs. And I think it's a great link to Magna Carta in terms of that freedom that people think they're losing in terms of being able to do that sort of thing. So that's just an example.
Is there a photographer's variation of the flash mob? I'm just wondering if there's a kind of thing like one's in the same place at the same time and take a picture and a different
No, the thing I like is that it's spontaneous. It has to be, I don't want it to be too organised. Street photography is very spontaneous, it's very subjective, it's very individual. So just kind of knowing that you might be in Castle Square at about 10:30, and have a group of people that just happen to be there taking photographs.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the
11 o'clock actually.
11 o'clock.
I can't tell you anymore because it's not a flash mob then, is it?
Absolutely, that's what I'm thinking.
But no, joking aside, we can do that. And that's the thing, that whole thing around sort of James Rhodes being able to write a memoir, how horrible a memoir it might be, but having the freedom to do that, etc. And go into the Supreme Court. He's in Edinburgh the night before, and he's travelling down to be in Lincoln. I think, and he's expressing his freedom of speech, etc. And that's an extreme case, and we can discuss whether the rights or wrongs of that, but we respect his right to express himself. But no, I think those sort of ad hoc, impromptu events are great because that's fringe, isn't it? And I think that's great. And in some ways, that's where the edgy stuff happens. And this is coordinated stuff, But so, yeah, please feel free, own it. Yeah.
Has anyone else got any questions or kind of ideas that they've got? I think it's as much as anything, even about any ideas that are kind of floating around that you're ticking over that maybe other people could kind of contribute to or could help you to develop a little bit. Is there anything floating around? So you're kind of popular in your...
We've got a couple of, on our team we've got a couple of people into social media, so we'll as a group of businesses we can push that as best we can do.
Brilliant, yeah.
That'd be really helpful.
Something silly like I took a picture of Bunty's Tea Rooms Pim's cake last week, and just on my Facebook it reached just under 2,000 people so far. That was a picture of a cake.
Yeah.
So it proves it works.
You can do that. I mean, last weekend I found this Egyptian rock band called Cherokee, still living in working in Egypt, etc. So I tweeted them, etc. And I said, "Oh, Rami, the Sam's coming." And they emailed me back and everything, and they've got 280,000 followers. So tweeted it, retweeted it, boom. All of a sudden I'm talking to the Egyptian Society in London. 250,000 tweets, just like that. So I mean, it's something we can do from the comfort of our coffee shops, as well as so then and it can make the difference to a festival like this and to the perception of the city and the county. So that we want people to sort of say, what the hell's going on in Lincolnshire? He said.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any other questions or comments? Event-specific questions? No.
David, we've got a Chili Festival on the 6th of September down at St. Mark. Mentioning about the choirs, I think might be able to tie something in there.
The choir's coming on the 5th. Yeah, the Chili Festival. Yeah. That'll be my last day. I'll be on my knees by the 6th of September. I'll probably need more than a chili.
Yes, and the chili.
It's down now. It's chili.
It's little music and some. It's down in St. Mark's, and I just wanted to tie something else in to
Just a point to make as well that Virgin Trains East Coast have been putting on some special direct services from London to Lincoln, particularly around Magna Carta year and the special events programme. And the Saturday the 29th of August is one of the days when there's a special Virgin train. So if anybody is doing any marketing and promotion that's going to reach a slightly wider audience, we're really keen to support Virgin Trains to get bums on seats essentially, because the success of what happens this year with just the special trains that they've put on may help influence future trains in future years. So the trains come from London, they stop at Peterborough and Newark, so there is access for people more locally as well. And they work on a day trip basis, so it's really easy for people to come up from London, spend a day in Lincoln on the 29th and go back to London again the same day if they want to. So any help that anybody can give in terms of incorporating that message in the promotions would be brilliant.
Right. Just 4 or 5 minutes just to see a little end film?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Great, thank you. This is not mine. It's far too clever for me, but it's something we're working with the Human Rights Centre in America, the United States Human Rights Centre, and they made this.
San Suu Kyi, the democratically elected leader of Burma, is currently...
She's free now. We take all that for granted, don't we? You know, you can fly 2 hours north, south, no, east or west, and that stuff doesn't stand out. So, thanks.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much, David, and thank you so much for coming this morning. This is the first of these kinds of events. We hope that you'll want to come back and join us for the next in the series. It's been great to see you, and I hope you found it useful and that you're kind of enthused and keen to go back and share this information with your colleagues and your teams and help to spread the word. And we look forward to seeing your response to Festival 800 and to kind of helping to create that festival fever across the city over the course of the week-long series of events. So thank you very much. Thanks as well to the guys at Stokes here for accommodating us so well and for the fab food and drinks, and I hope that we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Don't leave empty-handed.
Oh yeah, take and if
these are lighter. These are prettier.
And if there aren't enough, or you need more, or you have a thought afterwards, and there's something that we can do to help you to make the most of this opportunity, then do let us know. We kind of want to work together on this to really have a big impact across the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.